The US military struck a Venezuelan boat for the second time this month. This was announced by President Donald Trump on Monday, even as his administration has continued its deadly campaign against Venezuelan drug cartels. Trump has been waging a war against what he calls narco-terrorists, mainly from Venezuela, who are involved in bringing fentanyl into the United States. The strike occurred in international waters off the coast of the Caribbean, and it killed 3 people who were on the boat. Trump claimed that the boat was headed to the United States and it was linked to drug trafficking cartels. Trump and his administration have said that fentanyl traffickers pose a significant threat to America. The president also said that the people killed were positively identified, but he did not identify any specific organization or terror group that they were linked to.
What can you tell us about this Venezuelan boat that was taken out, and do you plan to provide proof that these were narco-terrorists who were on their way to the U.S.?
Well, we have proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was like it's spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place. And it was, plus we have recorded evidence that they were leaving. We've recorded them. It's very careful because we know you people would be after us. We're very careful. The military has been amazing.
Trump also posted a 30-second video on social media which edited together several clips of aerial surveillance. It shows the boat being chased by US snipers. It shows the speedboat bobbing around in the water, and then suddenly there's a fiery explosion which engulfs the entire vessel. It's still not clear though if the boat was attacked by a missile or a drone, or whether this attack was launched either from the seas or from the air. But legal specialists have condemned the US military action as illegal. This was the second such American strike on a Venezuelan boat. There was a similar first American attack that happened on another vessel back on the 2nd of September.
Porque este pueblo tiene quien lo defienda. Tiene fuerzas armadas y narco-bolivarianas que lo defiendan.
Before Trump announced the latest strike, Venezuela's President Nicolás Maduro condemned the earlier strike on the 2nd of September as a heinous crime. He also called it a military attack on civilians who were not at war and were not militarily threatening any country, leave alone the United States. He said that if America believed that the boat's passengers were drug traffickers, then they should have been arrested and not killed. He accused the Trump administration of trying to start a war with his country.
No es una tensión, es una agresión en toda la línea. Es una agresión judicial cuando nos criminalizan. Es una agresión política con sus declaraciones amenazantes diarias. Es una agresión diplomática y es una agresión en camino de carácter militar. Y Venezuela está facultada por las leyes internacionales para hacerle frente integralmente a esta agresión. No es una tensión, es una agresión.
Trump, back in July, signed a secret order directing the Pentagon to begin using military force against certain Latin American drug cartels. Trump's administration also began stepping up its rhetorical attacks on Maduro, even calling him a narco-terrorist. Trump alleged Maduro to be the leader of the cartel. And then in August, the US Navy sent a heavy amount of firepower into the southern Caribbean Sea, which included multiple Iwo Jima-class amphibious destroyers. On the 2nd of September, in what appeared to be the first strike carried out by President Trump's directive, the United States conducted a deadly military operation on a boat that had left the Venezuelan waters. Announcing the strike, Trump said that the boat was carrying drugs for a gang and that 11 people were killed who were on that boat. The US Navy has sent as many as 8 warships to the southern Caribbean Sea. The Pentagon has ordered armed MQ-9 Reaper drones and F-35 fighter jets, among other aircraft, to be dispatched to Puerto Rico.
As long as those vessels are in the region and as long as the president's in the White House, he's made very clear he's not going to allow the United States to continue to be flooded with cocaine and fentanyl and other drugs coming from different places, this one from Venezuela, which is a common route. That, by the way, some of it ends up in Europe, a lot of it ends up in Puerto Rico and then on into the United States mainland. So no one should be surprised. That's why they're there on a counter-drug mission, and they're going to continue to operate.
But there are questions being raised on whether these alleged drug traffickers needed to be killed or whether they could have been apprehended alive and made to stand trial in the US. The US Navy and Coast Guard in the past have usually interdicted these boats and potentially arrested the people on those boats for prosecution. This has been the long-standing practice done in the Caribbean Sea. This is one of the first times that they have used armed force to eliminate such alleged drug traffickers. Drug smuggling amounts to an imminent threat to America at a time when over 100,000 Americans die every single year from drug overdose. One of the biggest differences of the Trump administration has been that the president has directed these strikes at those vessels as a matter of national defense. The White House has also asserted that the first strike was consistent with the laws of armed conflict. But the second strike has only escalated Trump's war with Venezuela. Earlier, he had targeted Venezuelan armed group Tren de Aragua. Trump had declared Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization and had many of the members either stand trial in the US or have them extradited back to Venezuela. But now he seems to have opened a second front with the attack on the Venezuelan boat. But so far, he seems to have stopped short of any regime change in a country in Latin America that is openly hostile to the United States. The question is, for how long can this military operation sustain without it becoming a full-blown regime change operation?
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.